Order. Welcome to the Town of Cedar Lake Utility Board public meeting for March 2023. Would you all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Robert Carnahan.
Here.
Julie Rivera.
Here.
Ralph Miller.
Present.
Colleen Sheehan. Present. John Foreman is absent. Richard Sharp.
Here.
Nick Cupido.
Here.
Jennifer Sandberg is absent. Chris Alatis.
Present.
David Austin.
Present.
And I'm sitting in Margot Nagy for Jen Sandberg tonight.
Thank you. Welcome, Margot.
Thank you.
Item number 1 of new business, we have the approval of minutes for February 21st, 2023. Do we have a motion to accept and waive the reading of the minutes?
So moved.
I'll second.
Okay.
Colleen should second it.
Yes, Bob. Motion by Ralph, seconded by Colleen. Do we have any discussion on the motion? Okay, roll call, please.
Robert Carnahan.
Yes.
Julie Rivera.
Yes.
Ralph Miller.
Yes.
Colleen Sheehan.
Yes.
Richard Sharp.
Yes.
Nick Cupido.
Yes.
Excuse me, Nick.
It's all right, Mark.
I have to get used to that.
Yeah. The motion carries 6-0. Thank you. Item number 2 of new business is Nice Professional Engineering Design Services Agreement for the West Side Sanitary Sewer Interceptor, Project 3. You over there today, Neil. How you doing?
Thanks, Mr. President. This is the continuation of the West Side Sanitary Sewer Interceptor. Project 1 is under construction, Project 2 is in design, and Project 3 will be the continuation just north of 155th through the town-owned property up to the extent of 151st and Parish Avenue, just directly west of your dewatering facilities act.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Neil. And then going through this proposal, the dollar amount of $136,350, and then there are also reimbursables.
That is if they are needed. Typically what we've done is working with Chris's office to have any outside contractors work directly through the town so that, frankly, you don't need us to mark those up for soil services, and then obviously coordination with Dave's office for the property acquisition is included separately as well.
Okay. There's no cap on that, I'm assuming, right? But they're always reasonable with us?
Yeah. Typically, we've been under budget on design and construction engineering for all of these projects, and we've used some of those under funds to do some initial planning with Chris and Tim on a staff level in anticipation of Project 3, which you have before you.
Okay, thanks, Neil.
Thank you.
Anybody have any questions for Neil on this item? No?
John Foreman is on Zoom. The speakers weren't on earlier.
Okay. Hey, John.
Hey, Nick, how you doing?
Good, good. You have any questions for Neil for this item?
No, I heard it loud and clear, it sounds good to me.
Okay.
This is what, 62,000? That's not it? Okay, which one are you on?
You're on pay request.
That's what I got on the first page of the second sheet I got.
Service agreement, $136,300.
This is
Let me go to this one here.
It's on page 3, Bob.
right there.
Okay. Well, I got 2 different sets of papers here, and the one change. Let me see what I have on this.
It's everything before that.
Okay, so this we haven't done yet.
No.
Okay, I'm okay.
Okay, Bob, thank you. Seeing no other discussion, do we have a motion to approve this agreement with Nice Engineering?
I'll make the motion to approve.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second it.
A motion made by Colleen, seconded by Ralph. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Robert Carnahan.
Yes.
Julie Rivera.
Yes.
Ralph Miller.
Yes.
Colleen Sheehan.
Yes.
John Foreman.
Yeah.
Richard Sharp.
Yes.
Nick Cupido.
Yes, motion carries 7-0.
Thank you. We will get to work.
Thanks, Neil. Appreciate it. Item number 3 is a Nice pay request Number 3 for the West Side Sanitary Sewer Interceptor payable to LGS Plumbing Incorporated in the amount of $315,287.20. Neil?
Yes, this is for the West Side Interceptor Project 1, pay request 3 for LGS in the amounts you mentioned. This is our routine pay request that they typically submit on a monthly basis. And the current pay request will take this project to $2.5 million out of a total of $3.89. So we will expect probably another 5 to 6 pay requests on a monthly basis going forward upon project completion.
All right, thanks for that update, Neil. And that road's shut down still, Morris?
It's
Been down for a little while? Or?
shut down.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
It is passable for emergency vehicles, and I've been coordinating with Dwayne Alverson, the Lake County Highway Engineer, because that is their jurisdiction on Moore Street. But yeah, there's a lot of work going on, and I'd avoid the area if at all possible.
Okay. Thanks, Neil. Any questions for Neil?
Hey, Neil, how soon will it be reopened?
They intend within the next week to week and a half to be able to reopen that. Unfortunately, there was an communication line that was not marked either during our survey or during the contractor calling in their locates, and that line was damaged. There was some interruption in service south of that area, and AT&T has been incredibly diligent on replacing those infrastructure items, but that's one thing that's holding up the contractor, but they are coordinating with AT&T as we speak.
Okay.
Would you explain to everybody here the route and what we're doing over there?
Sure, that's a interceptor line for existing use and potential future use from the equalization facility south of essentially 163rd-ish area, up Morse to 159th, and then directly west, terminating at Klein Avenue.
And where is this sewage gonna go to?
Eventually it'll go to the Lowell wastewater treatment plant, which...
Yeah, but what lift station?
None.
None?
No, that's the point of the interceptor, is there are no lift stations. So it's all by gravity.
And so then it'll connect to Morris and then head south?
Yeah, it'll connect along Morris, head east to the EQ facility, and then continue by gravity to the Lowell interceptor, to the Lowell wastewater treatment plant.
And this West Side Sewer interceptor is going to give us more capacity, correct?
It'll give you more collection capacity within your current system, absolutely correct.
Which will help the west side.
Yes.
But Bob, the reason we're doing it also is because we want to take some of the flow off of that first lift station down there by the Jewel Harbor where it overflows and discharges and all kinds of mess that's going on. So yeah, you gotta remember that.
Yeah, and by Pinecrest too, right?
Yeah, that's a good point, John.
Yeah, I meant Pinecrest, I'm sorry.
Yeah, okay, I'm aware of that. I just wanted some verbal discussion because I got too many people out there telling me that we don't talk enough about what's going on, like we just kind of rubber stamp. So I want to ask some questions, so the people here can hear what's going on.
People all of our numbers are accessible, and all of the emails are on the website, and we talk about it at every utility board meeting for the last year.
Thank you, Neil.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, if we don't have any more questions or discussion, I'm looking for a motion to approve this pay request.
I'll make the motion to approve the pay request.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Motion by Colleen, seconded by Julie. Any discussion on the motion? Roll call, please.
Robert Carnahan?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead, John.
yeah, so Neil, are they 1 month behind with these pay requests, or are they 2 months in arrears?
No, they're current with their pay request. I guess you could look at it as, we require them to submit their pay requests on the first Tuesday of the month, so we have time to review and have them correct them if needed with staff, so that we can get those pay requests to Margaret and Jen on the second Tuesday of the month, so that they have adequate time on a staff level to submit them through the agenda.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, John. Okay, roll call, please.
Robert Carnahan?
Yes.
Julie Rivera?
Yes.
Ralph Miller?
Yes.
Colleen Scheven?
Yes.
John Foreman?
Yes.
Richard Sharp?
Yes.
Nick Studo.
Yes, motion carries 7-0. Item number 4 is NEAS pay request. Number 4 for the East Side Water Utility Elevated Storage Tank payable to Caldwell Tanks Incorporated in the amount of $120,856.50. Neil?
This is similar to your last item. This is for Caldwell, and it's for the east side tank. And at this point, they're essentially about halfway done with that project, and the pay request that you have in front of you reflects that work.
Okay, and how many other pay requests would you anticipate being outstanding?
They intend on being completed for startup by September 15th, so if we continue on a monthly basis, then we're looking at between 5 and 6.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Neil or any discussion?
I'm gonna add some more again. Kind of explain how this water's going from what used to be the lighthouse well, and then going, how that's going, and that, explain where this tank is for, in case somebody doesn't know out here.
Yeah, this is in the Crystal Oaks Park area, directly west of Lemon Lake Park. And at this point, there is no connection to the former Paradise Cove facility. That is anticipated to start soon with the east side transmission main that is being constructed by H&G. And supplemental to that will be an additional transmission main through the Schilling project of Lakeside 2, and Lakeside South to 141st Avenue. But that, at this point, is separated and hydraulically segregated between the two systems. But within the next year, we anticipate they will all be connected between the two productions facilities at Robin's Nest and Paradise Cove.
Would you explain the direction of the way that pipe's gonna go from, Morse?
It's not going that direction. It's coming down 140th to Edison to 141st and coming up through the Schilling development of Lakeside South, which is being proposed.
So it's not cutting across Morse down to that road by the clinic and then to Edison?
Yeah, it's right there at Morse, and it's going down 141st, or 140th.
Right.
To Edison to
And then from
141st.
Edison, then 141st?
Yes. And then the separate project will be done by the developer through their subdivision proposal.
Okay. Just trying to communicate a little bit here. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. Any other questions for Neil? Seeing none, do we have a motion to approve this pay request?
I'll make the motion to approve.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Ralph, seconded by Colleen to approve this pay request. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Robert Carnahan?
Yes.
Julie Rivera?
Yes.
Ralph Miller?
Yes.
Colleen Scheven?
Yes.
John Foreman?
Yes.
Richard Sharp?
Yes.
Nick Studo.
Yes, motion carries 7-0. Item number 5 is another NEAS pay request. Number 3 for the Crystal Oaks Elevated Water Tank payable to Dixon Engineering Incorporated in the amount of $1,500. Mr. Simstan?
This is routine services provided by Dixon for weld inspections. Their complete contract of $62,000. At this point, we're about 20% into that based on their submitted pay request. But they are providing the specialized services of weld inspections, and then they will also do the coating inspections and the x-ray services of the welds at the tank.
Okay. Any questions for Neil? Everything going good over there, Neil, though? I know
It
we
is.
had a bumpy road a while back, but everything's been quiet. My phone's been quiet, I know that. So, all right, I won't jinx us. Okay, so do we have a motion to approve this pay request?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Julie, seconded by Colleen to approve this pay request. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Robert Carnahan?
Yes.
Julie Rivera?
Yes.
Ralph Miller?
Yes.
Colleen Scheven?
Yes.
John Foreman?
Yes.
Richard Sharp?
Yes.
Nick Studo.
Yes, motion carries 7-0. Okay, item number 6 is an ongoing topic of discussion, future water capacity needs planning discussion. Mr. Salatas?
So I've got a meeting set with Peerless Midwest tomorrow to discuss a little further about our well exploration on the west side, so I'll have more information after that meeting. And then in regards to the invoice that was discussed at the previous meeting, previous utility board meeting to the county, that was originally sent for $160,000 because that is what the county had initially told us they had earmarked for us. I had a discussion with Larry Blanchard, who is one of the finance guys for the Lake County Council. He sent me a resolution, 2022-82, I believe, that showed that we had $650,000 dedicated to us. So I sent a updated or revised invoice to the county for that amount, specifically for water infrastructure, and we'll let them sort it out as to what the confusion was on their end. But we referenced the resolution that they specifically showed with the $650,000, so if they've got paperwork that is different or that alters the amount dedicated to each community, then I'd like to see it.
I thought Larry Blanchard left the county and did he leave and then come back?
He did. He's back there part-time now.
He used to be a commissioner at one time.
Councilman.
Oh, councilman?
Anything else, Chris?
Not on this topic.
All right, thank you, sir. I do have a topic of discussion. It's actually a suggestion. I wanted to see what the utility board thought about this. Town council, I guess. We had, Mr. Austin, we had the BZA Plan Commission training session recently, which I think was great. I'm glad that we had that. Maybe there's some room for improvement and some momentum there to have a joint town council and plan commission training session. And the reason why I bring this up now during the utility board meeting is because we all know that utilities are involved in the PUDs.
Totally.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's something that you guys would be willing to do, but I learned a lot from that personally. And
I think that's a great idea.
Sure.
Yeah.
so, do you guys need directive on that, or is that be good with that?
If you want it done, we'll do it.
Yeah.
Okay. John, you okay with that?
Yeah, so it would be for the utility board and the plan, or what?
Well, I was thinking, town council and plan, we're all the same, I guess, town council and utility board.
Oh,
But,
so we're only us, council, at the last meeting we did, we're only those council folks that sit on the BZA or the plan commission at that meeting?
They were all there.
No, yeah, we were all welcome.
It was Bob, myself, you, and Rick, right?
And
We already had the meeting.
I was,
And yeah, we had-
Colleen.
yeah, I was there.
We were all at that last
Yeah, so
meeting.
everybody was, what am I missing that we would do another one?
No, regarding this PUD, there's a lot of PUD discussion, John. Something that can go more into depth where, there could be some discussion and training on PUDs, for the town council and the plan commission, being that we would both be involved in those.
Yeah, if you guys think it's necessary, then we've been doing this for a long time.
Well, I haven't. I guess I'm doing one-on-one training myself, but,
And, I'm in favor of all training. Training is always
Yeah.
good. So, yeah, of course, I was just confused. I thought you were wanting to do another plan commission / like the same class.
No.
I was like, we just had it,
no.
Okay.
Well, if you guys are receptive to it, I'd like to see what Dave can offer us on that, or Chris, work together with you guys on that. If there's some substance that we can learn from. Okay. Any other discussion on future water capacity needs? Okay, seeing none, we have item number 7, written report, fund report, clerk treasurer.
Did she email all of you the report? She usually does. I have nothing in writing here.
Yeah, that was in the town council packet, right? Okay. All right, thank you, Margot. Item number 8, consultants and staff reports. Engineer, East Engineering, back to you, Neil.
All the updates have been made during your consideration of the pay request based on the schedules anticipated going forward.
Okay. Thank you, Neil.
Thank you.
Director of Operations, Mr. Kubiak.
We're finally just about wrapping up lift station 8 over there by Corky's. They finally got the new panel in, which took like 8 months to assemble and get in, so we actually have the power shut off there today and installed the new panel. Our guys got all that done, and tomorrow morning the Xylem people are coming to do the official startup of that lift station, and it'll be done, new concrete, new pumps, new controls. Another one, a little bit of grass planting around the lift station, and that's a done deal, so that's another one down, and then we're gonna go right into lift station 16 over by Lemon Lake off of Fairbanks, the one we had the problem with last month. We got stuff ordered, and we're moving forward with getting that one done here by the end of the season, by the end of the summer, so.
That one down by Corky's, is that gonna be similar to the one down here by the dam?
Similar, but not quite as elaborate as.
Oh, it won't be as elaborate as that?
Yeah, we didn't have to do quite as much to keep it up above the lake level over there, so, but we do got it all new concrete around it and all upgraded, updated, 100%, so.
Got a question for you, Tim, a follow-up, unless you had anything else to
Nope,
report.
we're good.
There was discussion last year about these water meters and the shortage. Is there any update on what's going on with that stuff?
It's still a, same thing, I mean, it's Russian roulette. Sometimes we get a box of meters, a box of yokes, a box of fittings, just random. We're still about, I think we're close to 500 meters, 400 and something meters behind of getting, so they're on, we've made orders, that are been in for a year. We've moved forward with trying to upgrade and update, meters that are going bad for readings, and if new construction has to be straight piped until we get more meters in, we're just, trying to keep our heads above water, doing what we can. We're having a discussion the other day about meters that were installed in like 2012 that are starting to get no reads on, which the batteries are going out and need the heads replaced or batteries replaced or serviced, so we're gonna start that cycle now of stuff that we started putting in when we started, so, it's always exciting. Hopefully we can get that stuff in, and it seems like that stuff is okay, the brass is the thing that's been taking the time, so.
So it's just like you're having a hard time getting, the equipment, and we had the same sort of discussion at NERC the other day about getting vehicles for like, Lake County Community Center and all the other, trade winds and stuff like that. Some of them are 3-4 years on back order because they can't get the vehicles. And you're having the same sort of a problem, right?
Yeah, but it's tough, I think that panel took almost a year to get, so. Great,
All right, thank you, Tim.
thank you.
Last item will be the JMOB report. Okay. No report. No report on that? Okay, all right, thanks, Dave. Okay, do we have any public comment? Anybody here for public comment? Margo, do you have anything submitted online?
Is he getting up? Oh.
No? Okay. Okay, seeing no public comment, this meeting is adjourned at 6:58, and the town council meeting will follow.
2023 is called to order. Please stand for the pledge and a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, Margot.
Robert Carnahan?
Here.
Julie Rivera? Here. Nick.
Here, Margot.
Ralph Miller?
Present.
Colleen Stevens? Present. John Foreman?
Present.
Richard Sharp?
Present.
Jennifer Sandberg is absent. Chris Olavis?
Present.
David Austin?
Present.
And I'm Margot Nagel, sitting in for Jim Sandberg.
Thank you, Margot. Public comment on agenda items? Public comment, agenda items? Public comment on agenda items? Seeing anybody, Margot online?
No.
Okay. Consent agenda. Minutes, March 7th, 2023. Claims, all town funds, $166,609.26. Wastewater operating, $379,614.18. Water utility, $11,978.86. Stormwater, $2,221.83. Payroll for 3/16/2023, $252,067.59. And February remittances, $188,992.55. Manual journal entries, February 1st, 2023 to February 28th, 2023. Tag day requests, American Legion Auxiliary Unit 261, 4/29/23 with 5/6/23 as rain date. Hanover Junior Wildcats football, 6/10/23 with 6/17/23 rain date. Cedar Lake Lions Club, 8/5/23 with 8/12/23 rain date. Hanover Central Middle Cheer, 9/16/23 with 9/23/23 rain date. Dare donations, $250. Elmwood Funeral Chapel and Crematory, Lake County FOP Auxiliary, $125. Forever Green Lawn Care, Lawrence Property Group, and Ray and Wally's Towing Service, Inc. Motion to waive the reading of the minutes and approve the consent agenda as read.
I'll make the motion to waive.
Second. Motion by Colleen, second by John. Any discussion?
Yes, all these, donations to DARE was for $250.
$250, yes, sir.
Thank you to all those businesses.
Thank you
Yes.
very much.
Yep. Any other discussion?
Yes, sir.
Roll call, please, Maura.
Robert Carnahan?
Yes.
Julie Rivera?
Yes.
Nick Studo?
Yes?
Ralph Miller?
Yes.
Colleen Stevens?
Yes.
John Foreman?
Yes.
And Richard Sharp?
Yes. Motion carries 7-0. Ordinances and resolutions. Ordinance number 1437, annexation ordinance, Cedar Lake Flume parcel, introductory reading. Chris, Dave?
Both, I'll speak to this one.
Okay.
This is annexation, or an introductory ordinance for annexation of approximately 60 acres of town-owned property south on Moore Street, which we in-house call the flume property. It's where we keep the flume and the EQ basin, so all the major sewer line runs to that property, and then terminates and becomes, or enters Lowell's side of the intersection. The annexation law that we're using is for non-contiguous annexation. As you'll probably know, that this is several feet, if not a mile, outside of town limits, so it's a little south on Moore Street. The non-contiguous annexation law by the state allows for a municipality to annex a territory that's non-contiguous to their boundary, if it's for the purposes of sewer utility, water utility, airports, and/or the town owns an electric utility, which some municipalities do. So this would allow us to do that under the state law. And the purpose of doing this is to bring it under town jurisdiction, so that way when we go and do improvements at that site, we are having it go through our own building department, and not having to go through the county, and you have to pay county building permit, fees and such.
Good job. Yeah, very good job. I have a question for you, Chris, and/or legal. Could we then utilize that, once it's annexed, to use that contiguousness
No.
to much this way, and then we use this to go that way, or no?
This is expressly for the use of municipal utility services
It cannot be
and/or that
expanded.
airport. So for no other use other than expanding the utility use.
Gotcha.
So in Lowell, Lowell has two of these sitting outside of their jurisdiction, one for their water plant, one for their sewer plant where our affluent terminates to. They did, in the last 10 years, purchase 15 acres to the west of their sewer plant and annex that onto that non-contiguous parcel, but that is because that land will be used for sewer utility-related purposes.
Perfect.
So that is the only way that a municipality can annex off of non-contiguous property.
So those, people that surround that do not have to worry about us going after them.
Correct.
Very good.
John, can you read ordinance number 1437 by title only, please?
You bet. Town of Cedar Lake, Lake County, Indiana, ordinance number 1437. An ordinance annexing certain land to the town of Cedar Lake, Lake County, Indiana, and all matters related thereto.
Thank you. We've heard the reading and an explanation of ordinance number 1437. Do we have a motion to approve the introductory reading?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by Colleen,
I'll second.
second by Julie. Any discussion? Roll call?
Robert Carnahan?
Yes.
Julie Rivera?
Yes.
Nick Raputo?
Yes?
Ralph Miller?
Yes.
Colleen Sheehan?
Yes.
John Foreman?
Yes.
Richard Sharp?
Yes. Motion carries 7-0. Ordinance number 1454, amending ordinance 1450, police and fire fee schedule. John, by title only, please.
You bet. 1454, okay, here it is. Town of Cedar Lake, Lake County, Indiana, ordinance number 1454. An ordinance amending the schedule of fees charged by the Town of Cedar Lake Metropolitan Police Department and the Town of Cedar Lake Municipal Fire Department, repealing all ordinances and town codes provisions or parts thereof in conflict herewith, and specifically repealing Town Ordinance number 1450 and all matters related thereto.
Thank you, John. Chris, you wanna, or John, Dave?
It's just a correction cleanup of fee schedules that were previously approved, but were not accurate.
Okay. Had the reading and an explanation of 1454. Do we have a motion to,
I think, Chris, you're gonna talk about it?
No, Dave pretty much nailed it. This is just a clarification of what was passed. Some additional language to clarify what, I believe, digital media specifically, to make it a little more modern and coherent.
Is this the one that has, like, for one inspection, it's $25.50 for the second and
Correct.
$100 for the third one? I wanted that kind of stuff explained so that the audience heard that.
If you want to have it read through, I mean, we could do that if you
So
would like.
just highlights.
Didn't explain that. The whole ordinance has
Yeah.
content that is the same.
I know, but I want to try and be transparent.
I understand your transparency. I'm just saying to you that he'll have to read the whole thing.
Well, I mean, G and H is essentially it in a nutshell, right?
This is the same ordinance you
What
guys
I said earlier, John, that you didn't hear, I'm getting people complaining that we don't explain things here at meetings, and I'm trying to answer that.
Okay, I respect that, but how can we not explain things when everything's online, it's being video recorded?
Not everybody looks at this stuff online.
But we're as transparent as humanly possible you can be. We have been for the last decade, since we picked up this video. But in a nutshell, Chris, you want me to run through items G and H?
I can explain it to you. So there were some clerical errors during the transition. We had some back and forth with the attorney on one specific charge, but the biggest cleanup was because we have this digital media now, we had to remove the term video from the original cost because now we have it broken down. So we had to change the verbiage on that so that the digital media DVDs is for a DVD disc of photos, not a video. Video is broken down by the amount of time it takes to redact. So that was corrected, and we had an addition of anything greater than 90 minutes. So that was the only thing in this entire ordinance that was corrected. It simply was because it was back and forth between the attorney and the draft actually got proposed to you, the first draft versus the second one. So we caught it, brought it back to Chris, and Attorney Austin corrected it and got it back to you guys. So it's just a update of 2 lines, letter F and letter H.
And the digital from a CD to a DVD to a digital, the cost is what, $10?
Yeah, it's a $10 fee for a digital.
I thought that was pretty reasonable.
Yeah, it's a $10 fee, but originally it said audio and video, and now we have a video that is from our body-worn cameras in our cars that's broken down, that Dave has broken down even deeper on letter H, that goes into redaction time and how long it takes us to do so by statute.
Very good. Thank you, Chief.
Thanks so much. Thank you.
We've had a reading and an explanation of 1454. Do we have a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve. I'll second.
Motion by Julie, second by Colleen. Discussion? Roll call?
Robert Carnahan?
Yes.
Julie Rivera?
Yes.
Jennifer Tupelo?
Yes?
Ralph Miller?
Yes.
Colleen Sheehan?
Yes.
John Foreman?
Yes.
Richard Sharp?
Yes, motion carries 7-0. Do you have a motion to suspend the rules to have a second reading of 1454?
I'll make the motion, Mr. President.
I'll second
Motion-
Nick's.
Motion by Nick, second by John.
Motion to
Discussion?
suspend the rules?
No discussion. Roll call, Martha?
Robert Carnahan?
Yes.
Julie Rivera?
Yes.
Nicholas Tupelo?
Yes?
Ralph Miller?
Yes.
Colleen Sheehan?
Yes.
John Foreman?
Yes.
Richard Sharp?
Motion carries 7-0. Ordinance number 1454. John, by title only, please.
Town of Cedar Lake, Lake County, Indiana, ordinance number 1454. An ordinance amending the schedule of fees charged by the Town of Cedar Lake Metropolitan Police Department and the Town of Cedar Lake Municipal Fire Department, repealing all ordinances and town code provisions or parts thereof in conflict herewith and specifically relating town ordinance number 1450 and all matters related thereto.
Thank you, John. Any additional discussion necessary?
Nope.
No, sir.
Do you have a motion to adopt 1454?
I'll make a motion to adopt.
Motion by Colleen.
Second it.
Second by Ralph. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Robert Carnahan?
Yes.
Julie Rivera?
Yes.
Nicholas Tupelo?
Yes?
Ralph Miller?
Yes.
Colleen Sheehan?
Yeah.
John Foreman?
Yes.
Richard Sharp?
Yes. Motion carries 7-0 and 1454 is adopted. BCA Plan Commission, variance of use, petitioner Morgan Stupak, 9701 West 134th Place, to allow a hair salon out of duplex residence in an RT zoning district. Property owner Lynn Sardi, petitioner's mom. Received a favorable recommendation from the BZA on March 9th, 2023.
They are in the audience.
You are, okay. Would you like to come up?
90.
I hear you made an excellent presentation.
Oh, did I?
Yes, that's what I hear.
Okay. So you just want me to read it?
You can do whatever, you can just tell us about it.
Okay, so I want to run a salon out of my home.
Okay?
I'm a one chair, one stylist salon. It's by appointment only, so my clients will just text me. I won't have any signs in the yard. I will take 1 to 2 clients at a time, and I'm going to create a walkway to the back to enter the salon through my back door. And my hours of operation are no more than 5 days a week, and my earliest opening hour is 8 a.m. and latest closing hour is 9 p.m.
Okay, thank you very much. David?
It was an excellent presentation to the BZA. A unanimous 5-0 favorable recommendation was certified to you. You have that certification in your packages.
Yes.
This is the type of documentation you'll see from your staff going forward on variances of use. Describes exactly what happened and what the conditions were, as Ms. Stupak has described.
And that's right behind Strax?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion
I'll
by
second.
Mr. Carnahan, second by Colleen,
With conditions.
with the conditions.
Conditions.
Yeah. It's in the
Correct.
Thank you, Bob.
certification.
second by Colleen. Discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Robert Carnahan?
Yes.
Julie Rivera?
Yes.
Nick Raputo?
Yes.
Ralph Miller?
Yes.
Colleen Sheehan?
Yes.
John Foreman?
Yes.
Richard Sharp?
Yes, motion carries 7-0. Thank you very much.
Good luck to you.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah,
you.
yeah, thank you.
Sharpen your scissors.
New business. Approval of Veritas updated fee proposal for the municipal complex project. Chris?
So this is a proposal by Veritas to carry us through. We've already had one agreement with them that got us through systematic design and the design development. This will carry us through the rest of the way. It is for $190,000 and will carry us through bidding, construction observation, commissioning, and closeout. So this takes us through the rest of the project. This amount is also already accounted for in the guaranteed maximum price of the $16 million for the projects.
And this is for the police and fire.
Correct. This is for the police and fire station.
So they know that. Okay, thank you.
Very good, thanks, Chris. Thank you, Bob.
And is the pay for, I have discussion, Mr. Chairman. Chris, is the pay for this out of, the,
Bond proceeds.
both? A portion goes from both A and B?
Yeah, so this will be split between A and B bonds according to the percentage breakdown of the overall project.
Perfect.
Any other questions?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Can I ask something for clarification, or do I have to wait till later on?
I think wait for later on. Dave?
We had,
Rainey's online if
it should have
anyone
been
wants to ask
probably at the beginning, but it's up to the chairman, but it's usually
I'd like
We
to
have
recognize
public-
her if you would.
in the beginning of each meeting, Cheryl, we have public comment for agenda items, and then at the end of the meeting, it's just a public comment for whatever a
I
person
thought
wants.
I've been to other meetings, I thought the public, comment on the agenda came after we're done with the agenda. We're still on that yet.
Rick?
You can.
Yes, please. Please come on up.
Yeah,
Just name and address.
yeah. Cheryl Parker, 7227 West 136th Court. I'm just reading this, whole, fee proposal for the municipal complex. I just have a question, if you could clarify. The project description says that it's a project that will combine multiple community services in one central location and under one roof. The community desires to house police, fire, and town administration staff in the new facility. Is that separate from what we're doing up here? Is that an additional project, or?
What you're reading is from the first proposal when this was first contemplated to be one project, but this has since changed into a different
Okay,
project.
so
And
we
no,
have,
and no town hall.
okay, so we have, that was what I needed clarification
Yeah,
on.
it's
So
up
we have
here.
the two buildings up here
Yes.
in the park up here.
Yes.
And then you have, a town hall that is is this the fees that you are including in here? Does that
That's
include the
not
town
the-
administration building?
That's not in the project scope
Okay,
at all.
that's what I wanted to clarify, thank you.
Thank you.
And they're gonna be separate, what, about 10 feet apart?
She's seen the renderings.
Yeah.
Okay.
I ask questions.
Thank you. Margot,
Thank
did
you
say
for
something?
recognizing her.
Mr. Rainey's online if anybody had any questions for him.
Oh, okay.
Let me just look at, I wanted to look at the date of this letter, Chris.
It has Mr. Eberly.
It has Eberly in the bottom.
We know.
Okay.
It's old.
Again, they just added to the old proposal.
Okay.
Sometimes when you use a template these days, not everything gets correct.
I have that, I just wanted to bring it up.
Excuse me, Mr. Rainey would like to.
Yes, Mr. Rainey, please.
Yes, Council David Rainey here with Veritas Group. I apologize for any confusion, and Mr. Salas is exactly correct. So we took our initial proposal and we added a revised section to that, which is in italics, providing an update to that original proposal, which added this additional fee to complete the project. And it does not only take you through closeout, but it also takes you through all of the warranty periods. So both structures, police and fire, which will be constructed, our group will stay on board, not only through the closeout construction, but also through the entire first year of occupancy to, take you through that warranty period, so, okay. I just want to make that clarification. I apologize for any confusion on the proposal, the way we provided that update.
Very good, thank you, Mr. Rainey. We've heard, explanation, questions answered. Do we have approval for the various updated fee proposal? A motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by Julie,
I'll second.
second by Colleen. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Robert Carnahan?
Yes.
Julie Rivera?
Yes.
Edward Cupido?
Yes.
Ralph Miller?
Yes.
Alan Sheehan?
Yes.
John Foreman?
Yes.
Richard Sharp?
Yes, motion carries 7-0. Item 2, 137th Avenue Crack Seal Project. Consider waiver of IDOA Public Works certification. Chris?
So, I'm just gonna read Don's letter for you. It is the understanding that the project was awarded to Site Services, SSI, at our last council meeting, in the amount of $92,296.33. On receipt of the bid documents, it was discovered that SSI did provide an active certification of qualification from the Indiana Department of Transportation, INDOT. However, the bid requirement certification of qualification from the Indiana Department of Administration, IDOA, Public Works Certification Board to be provided, that they did not. It is Don's recommendation that the INDOT certification of qualification be accepted as equivalent certification to waive the requirement of the IDOA certification. The INDOT qualification provides proof of adequate bidding capacity, experience that exceeds the project award cost, scope, scale, and respective. We ran into this previously where this specific bid requirement, and I'm not sure how exactly this got into some of the town's documents, with the Bartlett-Wahlberg bathrooms and pavilions, where the IDOA qualifications for Board of Public Works be provided, inhibited people from bidding on the project due to the regulations or requirements of that specific certification. The INDOT certification by Don's measure is adequate, or more than adequate, for a project of this scope, and it is INDOT's own qualifications. So it's our recommendation that we waive the IDOA Board of Public Works certification.
Super. Is this the same company that did Parish Avenue, Tim, last year?
No. I believe so. Well, that was Milestone. That was Milestone, right?
They did a good job, whoever did it. A little annoying on the tires, but they did a great job.
Yeah, they've used
It's sealed. They spent a lot of money on that.
Yeah.
No doubt about
It
it.
won't affect any grant money?
No. Don had also checked with that. It will not affect any grant monies that we've received.
Okay. Sounds good.
Thank you, Chris. Any further questions?
No, sir.
Do you have a motion to,
I'd make a motion to approve the 137th Avenue Crack Seal Project, as well as waive the IDOA Public Works certification.
motion by Mr. Ford, second?
Yes.
Second by Mr. Carnahan. Discussion? Roll call?
Robert Carnahan?
Yes.
Julie Rivera?
Yes.
Edward Cupido?
Yes.
Ralph Miller?
Yes.
Colleen Sheehan?
Yes.
John Foreman?
Yes.
Richard Sharp?
Yes. Motion carries 7-0. Item 3, approve the unsafe building department meeting to start at 5:30 instead of 6 p.m. Just need more time?
We do.
Just need more time.
We run into plan commission all the time, and we just need more time.
Okay. Okay. Do I have a motion to make, any discussion, further discussion, questions?
I'll make a motion to approve, Mr. President.
I'd
Thank
second
you,
the
Nick.
next motion.
Motion by Nick, second by John. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Robert Carnahan?
Yes.
Julie Rivera?
Yes.
Edward Cupido?
Yes.
Ralph Miller?
Yes.
Colleen Sheehan?
Yes.
John Foreman?
Yes.
Richard Sharp?
Yes. Motion carries 7-0. When will that start, Colleen? Will it start? the
Next month.
Next month, okay, very good. Reports, Town Council, Mr. Carnahan?
A couple. First of all, this Saturday,
No, it's almost spring.
March 25th from 9 to 2 at Lake County Fairgrounds, household hazardous waste will be there from Lake County Solid Waste and they will be taking batteries and hazardous material. They do not take paint, latex, or oil anymore. And then, March 29th at Ariel's Restaurant, CEO of South Shore Convention and Visitors Authority will be the keynote speaker for a chamber dinner that will start at 6 p.m. that night, and the cost is $24. Anybody is welcome. Diane is under the weather right now, so I don't know who you call.
Oh, okay, yeah, hopefully she does feel better. No, that's Mr. Uran, right?
Yeah,
Bob, okay.
Dave Uran.
Okay, thank you, Bob. Attorney? Report? Clerk treasurer, anything, you got the one report, so, thanks, Margot. Town manager?
I would like to invite the public cordially to the groundbreaking ceremony for the public safety building. That will be on April 14th, 2023 at 5 o'clock here on the town grounds. I imagine we'll probably have a big tent, so look for the big tent.
April 14th?
Friday, April 14th at 5.
5 p.m.
Big tent. The town also submitted two public art grants to the Indiana Department of, I believe it's Tourism. One of them will be it's a centerpiece of the roundabout, of which we have a small model. And the other one will be a public,
God bless you.
God bless you, a sundial, also the same make and model, or of similar nature. A sundial, or a sundial.
Sundial, okay.
Yeah, just try to keep it nautical themed. We had a meeting with the local road safety plan, as directed by the council president. We've received a lot of good information from our planning director, Ashley Abernathy. Her and our town engineer, Don Oliphant, will spearhead that project to create a local road safety plan for this community. Once it's been vetted through that and an internal committee that we set up of staff, we'll then present it to the Streets Committee within the council for review, and then ultimately to the town council for adoption, review and adoption. In reviewing some of the documents, they spread quite far. San Francisco, which is a big major city in California, I think we all know, their local road safety plan was 2 pages back and front.
And they have some interesting roads in San Francisco, Chris.
Yeah.
A lot of up and down, and
Boone County, Indiana had a 30-page document, so they've got everything in between. So it really will just be what the community looks for.
But we still, even though we spent millions, completely reconstructing subdivisions, we still have many roads that need to be completely rebuilt over the next decade or more, so.
Correct.
we need to, yeah.
We need to keep the list rocking and rolling and relevant.
Getting this plan adopted opens us up to possible grant funding through the federal government.
Awesome.
So this is a necessary step forward.
Good.
And that's what I've got.
Super.
Thank you, Chris. Director of Operations, Mr. Kubiak.
We're making progress on the fifth building over there, creating a couple new offices for the new Parks Department. Got the rotten windows changed and a new door and built a couple offices in there. Picked up their second truck the other day, so they are ready for the season to begin. Also, this summer, I've got the utility board, the parish pump houses, the well pump houses now upgraded to 480 electric. By the end of next week, both pumps will be 480 and fully operational with all upgrades prior to the busy time coming up. So that's, we finally got it done. They're just finishing a couple last things.
Are they all 480 volts now?
Yes, all of our well facilities are 480.
Awesome. Very good.
So everything is
Copy.
Okay,
yeah,
good.
which is awesome.
Use the one-hand rule when checking electricity or groundwater.
That's it.
I have a question. We've paved all these roads in town, and I noticed some of these subdivisions are starting to get some cracks. Are we going to be going in there eventually to crack seal?
Yep.
Okay.
And we got a large,
Yeah.
we're gonna be, actually, probably within the next 2 weeks, we will be on the crack sealing mission here, so we're gonna try to hit it pretty hard for a month or so and get as much done as we can. We got things ready to go, and, we're gonna try to get as much as we can done here coming up shortly, so.
And the machine is working good, the one we
Yeah,
purchased?
it's all cleaned out and serviced and ready to roll.
And I always stress this due to the fact that we need to maintain the roads we've got, so we don't have to repave them,
Correct.
rather shortly. Thank you very much,
That's the
Tim.
goal.
Cool.
Any other questions for Tim? Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Tim. Police Department report.
Council, you received our February 2023 monthly report. You see that we had about 1,211 calls, averaging about 44 to 45 calls a day. Issued 164 state citations and 633 warnings. We had 29 total arrests in the month of February, about 50 charges, 35 misdemeanors, 7 felonies, and 8 warrants. You also see on that packet there a new traffic analysis for you guys. We're running some numbers to show the increase in traffic contacts with law enforcement. So there's 3 or 4 pages there of new statistics for you, including an arrest offense analysis. And then at the very bottom, you can also see ordinance violations that we're taking care of on a monthly basis, what the most common ones are that are written, and how many we're writing per month. So at this time, we've issued 98 ordinance violation citations, and we've issued 80 warnings.
Thank you, Chief.
You're welcome.
Chief Wilkening, Fire Department?
Yeah, a couple things. You also have our report.
Yes, sir.
We had three structure fires this last month, which is kind of unusual for February, but because of the weather, it's people are out doing things. I'd like to tell everybody a story. As you can see, I usually wear a uniform when I come to a meeting, but tonight I'm dressed like a teddy bear. I was notified by a family in Cedar Lake that wanted to meet with me late this afternoon. In fact, on my way here, that has a 6-year-old with cancer. Terminal cancer, brain cancer. This family wanted me to come and sit down and talk to this child because this kid loves the fire department but is scared to death of firemen. So she asked me, please do not dress like a fireman. So I came dressed like a teddy bear. So what we're going to do for this child, we're going to try to start something in the fire service in the region, in the area with other departments to help support this family in some way, shape, or form. To try to make this kid comfortable coming to the fire station and being an honorary firefighter for a day and getting them some stuff to be able to play with. Unfortunately, it's 4th stage and is being taken care of by Northwestern Hospital. I want everybody just to realize if you think you got bad things going on in your life or something's bad going on in your life, it could be way worse. To see what this family was going through, they had 2 other children, to see how they're struggling with this, and this kid is just full of life, and unfortunately, the outlook isn't real good for him. So please pray for him, and they don't want me to tell anybody who they are yet, but hopefully soon we'll be able to make a kind of a big deal out of this family and have them at the fire station and maybe have breakfast with them or take them for a fire truck ride or something like that when he becomes more comfortable. So, just like I said, Pete.
And she reached out to you?
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
Family did. I know who the family is by just them coming in the past to open houses at the fire station, and they never brought this child with them. And I guess the kid was sick a couple of years ago too, but they didn't know what was wrong with him, and over the years he had developed this problem. So I was hoping that when we were just a month late with the cancer kids thing, but I know that this family would appreciate everybody's support, so thanks for listening.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you.
Let us know if you need any donations or anything.
Yeah, we'll,
I wish I would have asked you this question before you said that, but, you had a fire, on Windsor and was that an electrical car that caught on fire?
No.
It wasn't? Somebody told me it was, so that's why I'm asking you.
Nope.
But, you put a lot of water on and you had a lot of, units here
We did.
fighting that fire.
Yep.
And then Sheriff, who I saw was manning the station.
Yep. Under our mutual aid agreement, yeah.
Why'd you buy an electric car, Bob?
No, but
Don't if you can.
I heard that it was an electrical car that caught on fire, and I wanted to make sure it wasn't a battery that caught on fire, but he said it wasn't an electrical car, it was gasoline, right?
Yes.
And a garage burnt next to it.
Garage, 2 vehicles, fence, exposures of 2 other houses.
And thank you for putting that out to me, and I was able to go in there and take some pictures and
Yeah.
send it to everybody.
Now you're gonna go to court with me when we do investigation, because you took pictures. I'm gonna need them. We're gonna confiscate your phone now.
Number one witness.
No, I'm just kidding.
Thank you, Chief.
You're welcome.
Written communication, building department.
I'll take these as I usually do, in
Yes.
just one big chunk. We had 9 new home permits with 40 other permits for this month, which is, for the new homes, it's a tripling what we did the previous month. For Seabell, Lake Dredge, the pipe has been delivered, they're fusing right now, so we're gonna be well underway, it's happening. Good.
That's pretty cool.
Well,
Yeah.
I keep hearing that it's not from some people, so it's interesting.
No, you can't make everyone happy all the time.
No, you
Just
cannot.
have them go to the
Part
south
of-
end of the lake and see the massive pipes laying in the water.
That's pretty cool.
Moore Street Water Main Project, we're doing a plan prep for that. We'll be starting on phase 1 of that project. And then Don's been working on a series of ordinance updates, subdivision control ordinance, floodplain ordinance, the development standards that go with the subdivision control ordinance. And Dave, I'm sure I'm missing 1 or 2 in there, but we've got a lot of building-related ordinances in the works. And then with Veritas, as you know, the public safety building is ongoing, working on details for Development Summit, and that will take us through that.
Very good.
Very good.
Can I ask Chris?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay,
Questions
Chris.
for Chris,
All
yeah.
right, going through this stuff, you mentioned the dredging, and there's a lot of stuff going on about that. I just need to know whether, boats will be able to travel laterally across that lake throughout this summer, because, I mean, I don't know. I see
Yeah,
the pipes
so
and...
the plan initially, and it's still the plan, where the pipe will float, and as they make extensions to the pipe, they'll pin the pipe down.
Okay.
So it'll be kind of like
It
that
should be
pin down,
pinned in
they'll
the
put
lake bed?
buoys, and they'll have flags,
Okay.
and there'll be boat crossing areas for the pipe, if you
Okay.
will, only in certain areas. So the folks, depending on if it's on the east side or the west side of the lake, throughout the next X number of years, and hopefully we can stretch it way beyond 4 years, that means we raise more money, we can do more, right? But the folks that live on the lake will have the most inconvenience, because they may have to travel downward, down the lake to cross the pipe. So
Right.
that's gonna be how it's been explained to us, in recent years.
You can still go full throttle down that lake? no
I
problem?
suppose there's gonna be
No
some,
wake zones?
Somebody
Phone
will,
zones, but-
somebody will.
That's a good question that we need to really get out in the public newsletter, to get recommendations, work with chiefs and decide what is, ample speed for within 250 feet, 300 feet, whatever that maritime rules are for a lake like ours.
Absolutely.
People are gonna be
It'll
crying.
be a coordination of multiple agencies, but yes, that is, safety is our top concern, but we are going to try to keep as much of the lake open as possible. The most inconvenience will be, as John said, and then whichever properties or side of the lake has the actual barge in front of it at that time.
We may need the police and fire boats filled up with gas at all times, because
They always
jet
are.
skiers seem to like to jump wakes, and
They
they
always
may
are.
misinterpret a pipe for a wake.
Don't give anybody any ideas.
DNR just got a new motor put on their boat as well, so they'll be out there with their,
Oh, they
Could you check with DNR and find out what their rules are,
I will.
rather than us use what we think, it should be?
I'm sure there's
Land rules?
statutes for construction on the lake, on maritime, so.
That would be great.
One other thing, Chris, when you mentioned Veritas, Veritas recommendations, going through this, there's several tasks on here who's tasked with the tasks? There's round tables and all this kind of stuff?
Generally, the Veritas staff members.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I believe some of their reports do have, or their reports do outline who's the project lead in some of those. Some of them have just been hanging out there for a bit, and with, I believe, specifically public safety, we've been through two or three staff members for there, just depending on various stages of the project and individuals' capacity to complete that stage of the project.
Okay, thank you, Chris. That's all I have.
Any
Mr.
additional
President.
questions for Chris? No? Okay. Public comment? Any public comment?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Recently,
I'm not trying to be a jerk, but just name and address so we...
well, you know what, I always forget that, Rick, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Greg Parker, 14823 Morris Street, Cedar Lake,
Thank you.
46303. Recently, at the Plan Commission, a lady came in and was asking about the zoning ordinance and chickens. And I want to preface this, I'm not advocating for chickens or against chickens. But there was, during COVID, I think some people got the idea that the food supply was not stable, and maybe it wasn't stable. I know a lot of, Tim was prefacing some of that earlier. I've been having trouble getting certain types of equipment because of the supply chain issues.
Sure.
And I think it's practical and pragmatic for people to think that having a home-based, sustainable food source is probably a good idea. And I know a lot of folks didn't think that we'd ever have a global pandemic and things of that nature, and everything that went on during that. I know I had to learn to cook when the restaurants were closed down.
Yeah, they were.
So, and based on some of my experiences in my life, I spent a lot of time with my grandfather when I was a child, and my family's from the South, so my grandfather lived in Alabama, and he always had chickens and turkeys and different kind of livestock. Now, they had a little farm, so that's a little different scenario. But I remember he had a problem rooster one time, and it jumped on my dad, bit him on the neck. And my dad immediately wrung the chicken's neck and threw it over the fence. So, the reason why I'm telling you that story is my grandpa really got irate. Like I said, he lived through the Great Depression.
Yeah. Okay.
And it was like a learning experience for me at that time. He said that, I remember him saying that if it hadn't been for chickens, a lot of people in that area wouldn't have survived the depression. Or a sustainable food source of things of that nature. So, I mean, he was pretty, and for him to have that reaction, it had an effect on me. And he had an effect on me in a number of ways, and it's kind of shaped who I am today. I'm a bit rebellious, a bit suspicious, and I don't like everything that I see on the national scene. It frustrates me. And there are things here in town that frustrate me. And, John and I have had a little trouble lately. And,
We have always agreed to disagree, Greg, I respect it.
after that last town council meeting, I left here pretty angry. And you texted me into the wee hours of the morning, and that made me angrier. So, but one of those text messages, you asked me what leg I thought that I had to stand on.
Mm-hmm. You're a public person, I mean the accusations is all I meant.
I understand, and I'm getting ready to tell you what I think.
Okay, for sure.
When they were building that subdivision across from your house 17 years ago,
Sure.
and you brought this up recently, so I feel like I can talk about it. I know you were very angry about that. You were very angry with that council. You came down here and voiced your opinions. And that council, because they did everything in public, they had to listen to what you had to say. And I think that's the frustrating part for me because, and I misspoke because it had slipped my mind that I asked about 3 developments, but it had slipped my mind that 2 of those developments already had approvals. So I guess I don't understand why me coming down here asking questions.
It was more personal, Greg. You and I talk all the time, we text all the time. I used to drive to Southern Illinois, we talked for 5 hours. You have my cell phone, that's all.
I wish you'd let me finish, John.
Okay, I apologize.
I guess I don't understand why your reaction then and my reaction now is unacceptable for some reason. The questions that I was asking, and I don't think I asked too many tough questions. But I'm concerned about development across the street from my house. I know what the zoning is now. I don't know what the zoning is going to be. I don't know anything about it. Now, everybody that was here that night, Julie wasn't here. They said they hadn't seen any concept plans on that.
Fact.
At that time, you hadn't seen any concept plans.
Fact.
No one.
No one.
No one's seen any concept plans.
Fact. I've never seen a plan, Greg. I've never seen a plan.
I want to ask again. Callie, you said you hadn't seen it.
I have not.
Julie, I didn't get to ask you. Have you seen it? Rick, you said you didn't see it.
No, sir.
No.
You didn't see it?
No clue, Greg. No clue.
I didn't see it.
And Greg, you know the deal. It doesn't matter what Chris and these guys are working on behind that wall, until we come to the plan committee, it's bar napkin sketches.
John, for me, it's not about staff.
Yeah,
I think I clarified that the last time I made a comment about staff.
sure.
Nick, have you seen it?
Yeah, I have seen them. Yep, and I don't know why I'm the only one that is speaking out about this. I mean.
Where did you see them?
Bob,
Can
have you
you
seen
show
it?
me? I haven't seen anything.
Me neither.
Okay.
Can you show me, Nick? I'd like to see.
I don't have them.
Okay.
And Chris, I mean, if we're being completely honest here, I saw him with Chris. You know, and Chris had talked about this stuff before, stuff being vetted through the through the staff. You guys see it first, okay? I'm not gonna argue that, that's how it works, being on the BZA, I know you guys see stuff first, but I'm the only one here that's seen it, okay?
Would you share that with all of us, Chris? Whatever you showed Nick?
If that is the desire.
Please. That would be great. I know that you get a lot of plans on the other side of this wall, but I'd like to see what you're
So
showing Nick.
you guys are gonna tell me that Nick is the only one that's seen it, he's been here 3 months?
Was I with you when you saw that?
I was by myself, I was with Chris in his office.
Okay.
But there's no backroom deal or anything I'm involved in, it's just, here's what we got going on, here's what was presented to us so far at this stage.
I don't think
Right,
I've
so-
only been in Chris's office once.
So I guess I'm gonna leave here tonight with more suspicions than I had before, because I can't believe that the new guy is the only one that's seen the concept plan.
I never saw a concept plan, Gary. If I did, I'd tell you. I don't really care.
You know what I think?
Mhm.
I think there's more chickens in this room than the ordinance allows for right now.
Yep,
That's what I think.
thank you.
Any additional public comment? Yes, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Gordon Dixon, 8711 West 132nd Place. I am here tonight, though, on behalf of Cedar Lake Summerfest Committee Incorporated, and I'd like to hand everybody one of these real quick if I could.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gordon.
Thank you.
I'm sorry I'm a little short on these. This is in regards to some vital matters concerning Cedar Lake Summerfest 23. When the town of Cedar Lake and Cedar Lake Summerfest Incorporated signed our current contract, the building project for the police and fire stations at the town grounds were not public knowledge, nor were we were advised that it was ongoing. Once the project was made public, we began asking for a layout as we realized that this was going to possibly affect the operations of Cedar Lake Summerfest. After several weeks, we finally were given a map, and we did a review of the situation. What we found is that the project will eliminate approximately 220 parking spaces, which includes the vast majority of our ADA parking. The current road that runs north of the blacktop parking lot will be blocked, and we will not be able to get vehicles into the fields for parking. This also makes it difficult to get the carnival in and set up, as well as this allows the police and fire departments to provide adequate protection. At this time, it's necessary that changes be made to the current layout of the building project so that the festival can operate. We've determined that we need a portion of the road left open, and it requires to be 25 feet wide. We've determined that if an area is left open as we designate, we can work around the situation and move vehicles, etc., in and out of the parking area safely. Without this concession, we will not be able to park cars, run the car show, or the horseshoe tournament, nor will police and fire be able to get their vehicles into that area easily. There are 4 trailers being brought in by the construction company, and they need to be moved within the fenced-in area shown on the map. With this, we can open up a decent number of ADA parking and eliminate safety concerns with the trailers being in public spaces. If we can get the footprint of the project reduced in the areas we are asking for, we already have plans on how we can make the festival work. Respectfully, Cedar Lake Summerfest Committee. We took a look at it, and we cannot operate with them blocking off the road because we can't get cars up to park them. I mean, we can go ahead and deal with losing the parking spaces, but we really feel that we need the ADA spaces, or at least some of them, returned. And by moving the construction trailers into their own fenced-in area, not only does it provide some of those spaces back, but it takes those trailers out of public area that people are going to be walking around and everything. You know, do we really want them around their trailers? So, in other words, I mean, I don't know who all on the committee or who all we need to work with to try to resolve this, but we need to do it as soon as possible. We have contracts already signed and things like that, and without the parking, it's done. So,
What about shuttles? Could we utilize a shuttle?
no. We've already looked into a lot of things because a lot of people in town have tried to give us ideas for what it is that we can do. Everybody has an idea, as you know.
Sure.
One of the problems is that we would have to shuttle people in from somewhere, and as most everybody knows, the road in front of the town grounds is backed up in every direction, especially on fireworks night, and there's no way to get a bus or a shuttle or anything of that nature from anywhere in any kind of amount of time. Plus, the cost of it is very restricted. So,
You mean school buses?
well, I mean, you have to get them from somewhere.
Yeah,
You
you
have to
got
pay
that.
for them. Yeah.
Honestly, John, he's telling the truth, there's no way they're getting possible way.
And really, where do people park close?
There's just no way to get them down Morris.
I mean, as it stands, I can tell you guys something right now, with the loss of all these parking spaces, at least on the 2 fireworks nights where we sell out our parking lot, you're looking at about 160 to 220 cars that are gonna be out there looking for somewhere to park.
Yeah.
So we've already got that problem.
Yeah, and ideally, the lay of the land where we're sitting compared to the Morris Street, there's a decent drop. So ideally someday, you know, and it's a someday, we need to have an underground parking garage, maybe 2 layers deep, with green space on top so we don't take away from the park. And it's not unheard of to be able to pull something like that off, and this whole area should be and could be really completely revitalized and be quite a place. But it doesn't help you right now. I don't know what to say.
No, and what the
In hindsight, we probably should have tried to postpone the kick, but how do you do it?
There's no way
It's
you
a
would have
long
been able to
project.
do this construction project without it adversely affecting at least 1 year.
So I've got a question. We own the land by the well. Do we have enough land there that we took an excavator and put stone, we have temporary parking over there?
Not for the land that we own. We only own 2 to 2.5 acres there.
But well is only, what's well have protection to?
100-foot radius,
100
which
feet.
eliminates about half of that.
So why can't we?
You can't put anything on a wellhead protection.
No, outside of that 100 foot by 100 foot.
It's not very big, and it's a terrible spot to try to pull in and out of.
Okay.
And that would be the half of the house.
Like right in between those 2 hills.
And the problem with that is, people will have to walk on Morris. And
Right.
we had a problem, if you remember,
years ago.
Yeah.
We had a problem last year.
Yeah.
We had
We don't want
hit by
people
cars.
walking on more.
May I suggest that the Summerfest is,
Yeah.
clients have been known that they should come work with me and we'll figure something out.
Very good.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask, I do have to ask this question because it is vital that this be dealt with as soon as possible and be known that it can actually be dealt with. So the question is that, and I'm talking within a couple of days, because we have lots and lots of contracts and things out right now, and if something were to change drastically for us, we need to be able to try to turn around and move on it. So is it possible to find out within the next couple of days whether or not we're gonna be able to have these changes that we're asking for accommodated? We're not asking for huge amounts of land to be moved around or anything like that. We just need a certain portion of that road left open, because currently, you know, it's on a hill on the left-hand side there. We can't just drive cars up and down the side of that hill. I mean, people just don't have vehicles for that. So we have to be able to get up a little bit farther in order to be able to get people into the fields there. We already have a drawing and everything of what we need to do to provide an inlet and an outlet in that area. So, I mean, we've done a lot of research in a very short period of time to try to make sure that we can get this done. So, when
Your
can we...
wife has my email contact information, reach out to me tomorrow.
Okay. All right.
Okay,
Gordon, so you know, you guys were not thought of when we did this project. We specifically said, hey, you know, we know the project's gonna kick off in April, but come the the end of June, 1st of July, when Summerfest comes on, you're gonna have to put all your equipment inside the fenced-in area so they have their space. So we told the construction company that, so that you guys would lose as little space as possible.
And maybe we could move the fence in further.
Yeah, they
Let
know
them
already.
stage their equipment for the
They
well.
know already, they already know they're gonna shut down for that time, them 4 days.
You're gonna shut down,
Yeah, 5 days.
Well, okay, so I can definitely get with you, we can get with you and show you what we need to change in order to be able to accommodate what we need. Anybody else got any other questions, or?
At this time.
Understandable.
Thanks.
You guys have been doing this a long time, and it's complicated. I wanted so bad for the police and fire to be on top of that hill by that well house. It just, I didn't want to disrupt this corner, and we couldn't do it, but we looked into it. I wanted so bad for that to be the plan, and I'll just say this, we need a lot more land around here, keeping this the hub of the town. I'll just say that.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, Gordon.
Thanks, Gordon.
Public comment? Public comment?
Hi, my name is Bill Hammons, I live on 9417 West 145th Court. I have a question going back to the lake.
Sure.
We're paying for the dredging in the lake, which is awesome. Thank you, whoever got it done, I think that's fantastic. Why aren't we annexing it? Just a question. We have this dredging going on with the pipe that's going through the lake. We already know, that's like the Wild Wild West out there. A couple of years ago, my wife and I are on my pontoon boat, and some guy at night, it's pitch dark, he's flying.
Yeah.
Every boat, people out there was yelling, this guy, slow down. He came up on the back of my boat. If my wife would have saw him coming and I left my boat running, I punched it, it would have came up and hit her in the back of the head. We have no policing on this lake because it's a state-owned lake.
It's a state-owned, yep.
Why aren't we annexing it?
No, we don't have policing on the lake because we don't have the personnel.
But if
And we have a boat that we can respond at any time, but I don't have the personnel, I need them to cover the road.
Well, I understand that, Bill.
Yeah.
I understand all that. I'm trying to just come up with, we're gonna have this on here. What happens when a boat or a jet skier, because you just said you wanna put things where people could see it.
Yeah.
We all know how these jet skiers go. What that's gonna do is they're gonna think they're skiing.
Yeah.
What's gonna happen when they hit somehow and crack open that piping that's there? These are questions that, without us being able to monitor, what's happening, that money that is being spent is gonna go to waste.
Could very well, some of it could be wasted.
And it comes down to, is like Bill says, he doesn't have the manpower anyhow, but even if we did, it's a state-owned lake. Do you even have jurisdiction on there?
Yes.
You do have jurisdiction on
DNR's
state-owned
out
lake?
there a lot too, especially on the weekends.
The DNR is, but it's one.
Yeah.
That's one, and you've got 14,000 boats on the
I
Cedar
agree,
Lake.
I agree, I have a boat too, I know.
We're certified by the state of Indiana, so we have jurisdiction anywhere.
Okay, that's just the question.
Hey, Bill, back to your first question, us annexing the lake. There was some, Randy and I were at some event and we broached that subject with some of the state folks. And we were in Maryville at the Purdue Extension, pitching our ideas for the lake to try to get some support out of Indianapolis. And I can't remember the exact wording, but we would have to have put it in trust or something, David, what was?
Yeah, line trusts, various trusts.
And it was very much of a long shot, but we asked the question because we're like, A, we don't own the lake, B, you won't give us money to do the lake, C, we're figuring out how to come up with the money to clean the lake, so why shouldn't we own it, right? Our shoreline abuts the whole doggone thing is the town, but it's still a state-owned lake. So we went down that path, and I can't remember the reasoning why it would have made it tough to do what we're doing, but it was like almost a starting over process.
Right.
No, I attended a meeting with the DNR once, and I was asking them to give us some help on the lake. And I told them, I said, you guys own the lake, and they responded to me, Mr. Carnahan, we do not own the lake, we control the lake.
Well, DNR, yeah. Yeah.
But they control it, they told me they didn't own it.
The state owns it.
The state owns, not the DNR.
No.
The state owns it.
Department.
Right, and see that, and again, that's kind of what my point is. We have the wild, wild west out there, and that's exactly what it is. Everybody here that has a boat that's on the lake, that goes out there Friday through Sunday evening,
No doubt.
it's not even enjoyable. It's just.
The weekends are rough.
Right, if you have a boat, you either gotta go out at night, and again, I tried that and damn near got killed. You know, so it was just a thought, and, you know, as I'm seeing that piping,
Right.
it worries me, somebody taking that out, and all this is for naught.
Yep.
Because what's gonna happen to that sludge? It's gonna be going everywhere. Just a thought, and then I figured I'd ask a question, I was always curious. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Public comment? Public comment?
I've got clarification again. Cheryl Parker, 7227 West 136th Court. In the Veritas recommendations, you have an item listed as Lakeshore Bluffs. And in there, the town attorney, it says the town attorney drafted a non-binding MOU with Schilling to move the project forward. The parkland was transferred to RDC, which I assume is redevelopment.
Correct.
Commission. Yeah.
Okay. So, when did that happen, and how did that get approved, and how did that process, and what parkland are we talking about that Schilling's gonna get?
You want to take this, Chris?
Between me and Dave, this happened last year, I don't remember exactly the timing.
Early in the year.
Yeah,
Probably February, March?
2023?
yeah, that's, no, last year.
Okay, I just looked at Lake County Property Commission. This property is still, the owner's record is still, Town of Cedar Lake.
It is
As
still.
of just now, when I just looked at
It's
it.
still owned by Cedar Lake.
Yeah, we still own
It
it.
says it was
Still
transferred, so it's not gonna be in the redevelopment commission.
It was
just
transferred,
How would that be transferred then, if the town
It's
already
just-
owns it?
Redevelopment Commission is still part of town.
Right, but what's the purpose of transferring the
was that a
park?
transfer from the parks to the RDC?
No, it was a transfer from the town council to the redevelopment commission.
And that was for purposes of financing recommendations in the event a transaction ever occurred.
Okay, and
The
this
town-
is related to the Lakeshore Bluffs development then, correct?
Well, there is no Lakeshore Bluffs development, there's a name, and there's general discussion about a project or a potential project.
Yeah, they own, once again, the owner of record is, it's the old funeral home.
Right.
That's right.
Trapper,
Right.
okay.
That's what they
So
are.
which parkland was transferred to RDC? I guess that's my question.
Potawatomi Park.
Okay, I had heard rumors of that, all right,
Yeah. It's not a rumor, ma'am.
There's a swing set there presently, and it's on a hill.
yeah. And so,
That was done in a public meeting, ma'am. There was a public meeting action of the redevelopment commission.
in 2022?
I believe so.
It may have been late 21, but I think it was last January,
No,
February.
it was 2022, because I was here.
Okay.
So in essence, what we're doing is transferring the parkland, and eventually it could be developed
Could be.
by Lakeshore,
Again, it's one of these-
Lakeside, Lakeshore Bros, who is owned
Again,
by
this is
Shore.
another project that I did see stuff on, but it never made it anywhere, never even made it to the planning commission. It was,
Okay.
these are things, it was kind of like, you remember, about 8 years ago, we created a new, urban map for this land we're sitting on, and then also down by, we
Is that
wanted to do a
the
boardwalk.
master? You're talking about the master, the comprehensive?
Yeah, it was a,
That's 2012.
down by, the Dairy Queen
Oh, that
and
was
the sandbar.
That was 2018.
Yeah, it was probably about
Yeah.
6 years ago, 5, 6 years ago.
Yeah, yeah,
We did similar things then, we just were throwing ideas out there,
right.
making a grand plan, and we ruffled a lot of feathers, and it wasn't on purpose. People thought we were gonna take their land, and it was just,
Well, the
to get
one,
some
the Midtown one
motivation.
was owned, privately owned, and that family is not interested in selling, I
Right.
know that. So that was the
Right.
plan that we paid for that will never
But,
happen.
but because we have this opportunity of, we could call it opportunity, or challenge, depends how you look at it. We have people coming from the west, we have people coming from the north. So it seems like we, as leaders, need to be able to harness the energy that's coming for the good of the residents that live here. And that was the motivation
Development
behind,
down the road, you're saying.
that was the motivation behind making town centers. We don't have a downtown, right?
Yeah.
We have Strax, we have here,
Well, the town
we have
wasn't
down
even
by.
recognized until 1972.
No, that's right. We're a new old town, Cheryl.
It
And-
said
and-
72 is when they actually recognized.
Right, we are a new old town.
Incorporated in 67.
And everybody always criticized Cedar Lake, well, we inherited roads that weren't roads, they were goat paths. We had no bases under any of the roads that we've had. And you know, we've never had a downtown, the closest thing is down by Cubal's. I consider that a downtown. People hang out, they gather, I'll tell you that, you know, my dad met my mother after World War II at Midway Ballroom.
Yeah, I've heard
Like
all
many
about
people,
that from
right?
my father-in-law.
But the point is, what about these new generations? Why shouldn't we make this a cool place, a destination place, a place where people can park their cars and walk? You know, and it'll be awesome.
And is that referring to this Lakeshore Bluffs thing you're talking about,
I
or
would hope
something
that
else?
it could have turned into something, but who knows, right?
Okay. I was just more concerned it would be a residential development, and then, you know, the town
yeah.
loses out on.
We need
the
to
public
figure out
loses
ways to use private-public partners
Yeah.
to make this place great for the next 100 years,
Mhm.
and keep it from being a vinyl village where people can break into a place with a Stanley knife. And that is a very interesting challenge that we face, and
Yeah,
and we're trying to think big.
As long as the homeowners who reside here
Right.
have access to that stuff.
Of course.
My concern would
Absolutely.
be that you get developments, and then you're cut off from all of this property that should not.
Well, you could take, for example, Wahlberg Park.
Mhm,
We bought Marshall's place,
mhm.
wiped it out, made a nice park out of it.
Wish you would've bought the house next to it too.
Well, we only had so much money at the time.
I know.
Believe you me, if our TIF fund was bigger, we would do more,
Yeah.
but we're kind of handcuffed at the moment.
Well, another thing I had, this is just really brief. The Business View magazine had an article that our town manager was expounding on all the great things that Cedar Lake has and is gonna do. One of the paragraphs, I wanted to get clarification on this, because it says that, the town is involved in many ongoing residential and commercial developments. Schilling Development is a local company involved in a number of projects, including 4 residential and various commercial projects. The town is working with Schilling to develop a large multi-use lakefront commercial and residential development. We're envisioning lakefront condos or townhouses in that area around the lake, says Schilling Development Manager Jack Slater. So, my question is, which areas are we looking at? Is it the town ground, which is classified as a park, or is it some other area where, conceptually we're looking
Chris
at.
wrote the article, didn't you?
Yeah, so that's, I guess I could address that to you.
You can answer that one.
That was
Well,
specifically
your name-
referencing the Lakeshore Bluffs project.
I'm sorry?
Lakeshore Bluffs.
Okay, so that's specifically there, it would not include here?
No.
No,
Okay.
No.
This
All right.
is the town's land. We're not
Well,
gonna-
that's, and actually on GIS, it's listed as, part of the Red Cedars, and, a lot of the, comprehensive plans that you're referring to, Jan, from 2012, 18, 20, 21, all refer to it as a park, and it's, in one of them, the earlier ones, it says that that area, that was in the actual plan, it was advised that that area, this area should not be developed
Correct.
in order for, public access. And a lot of people use it.
I would agree.
And you'll
But
never
it
get
would
a
be
piece of
great.
property like this.
But it would be great for,
Well, you can
This
make it
area.
attractive without bringing in too much commercial,
correct.
and that's what I would be concerned about.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheryl. Public comment? Public comment?
Oh, boy.
Public comment.
Hey, Ray.
I get to do this.
Name and address, please.
Randy Niemeyer, 13610 Ivy Street, Cedar Lake. I'm your Lake County Councilman. I'm here in my official or unofficial capacity.
Okay.
Your town manager did send a request recently to the Lake County Council for the ARPA funds distribution. There's been some question as to what the total amount is, but Flyer knows things out. But like most things at County Government Center, it has many layers to go through. A lot of lawyers, if you're looking for a job, Dave. But just wanted to check in with you guys. Haven't been here since I left. And
Good.
if you have any questions or...
Yeah, I have a
things for
question.
me, yeah.
Somebody came up earlier, Mr. Hammonds, and asked why we didn't annex the lake. Do you remember when we had those meetings in the Purdue Extension
We
on
had 'em
Broadway? And didn't we,
In Maryville.
isn't there
one
a trust
time.
or something that we would have to have applied for? What was that called? Do you remember?
I remember the name of that. I've talked to Senator Niemeyer about this a couple times too.
Right.
He actually put the subject in front of the DNR. Hey, they're paying for the dredging. Why can't we just make that a municipal lake? And that was not even considered. And I think we'd also run into some trouble with the federal overreach when it comes to waterways of the United States, right? So we would have some trouble with some of that too. So
I couldn't remember what.
I don't think that's ever gonna be an option.
Right.
It's just not gonna happen. It stinks that, you know, the town had to come up with a mechanism to pay for it, but
Yeah, right.
it is what it is.
Yeah, that's fact. Yeah.
One other thing, Chris, I think you mentioned that, the money we might get from the county was, they said $190,000, and then Larry Blanchard said it's $650,000. So do you know anything about that?
Yes, the county government is not very well run. But that's also why I ran for the office.
Very good, sir.
Anything else for me?
So you don't know what we're gonna get?
Listen, when that filters through the system, you could be out of office by that time. Just saying.
You bring a check with us tonight?
It's a personal check and it'll bounce like hell.
That's right.
Thank
Well, thank you guys. I
No, thank
appreciate it.
you.
And,
Welcome
Hey,
back.
Randy.
Yeah, you need anything, you know how to get hold of me.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Personal comment or public comment? Public comment? Public comment? See no more public comment? Wait. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see you.
Shane, hi, City Vice President.
Yes.
Excuse me for being a little bit slow. Terry Broadhurst, 14513 Morse. I'd like to first thank you for your time here tonight. There's a couple of things I just wanted to go over based on the couple of questions I posed at the last meeting. Question one being, how does zoning changes take place and who's actually responsible for them? Through my research, through the current standards, the book that all of you have had copies made, I have the same. The best I can see is that, in fact, we saw a great example tonight of what happens in a zoning change or a zoning variance. We had that young lady with the hairdresser come in.
The use variance, yes, yes.
Pardon me?
The use variance?
Yes.
Okay.
So, I'm referring to how things are done, and I use that as a reference. I'm sorry, it may not be the exact same thing, but it's just a reference, Rick.
I understand.
Excuse me, I'm a little nervous too, and now that you threw me off a little bit, let me just gather my thoughts.
Didn't mean to throw you off.
When I did my research, when I posed the question the first time at the last meeting, I thought I had a pretty good grip on what the rules were. But of course, I didn't get anybody up on the board, on the dais that night to explain to me the rule, and I know it's not your obligation to explain to residents every detail. So I did my research, and it goes as follows, and I'm sure there's gonna be some variances here, so just bear with me. Step one would be to file through the zoning, the BZA, which you'd have to make your case, and at that point, providing you do make your case, you get a recommendation, either favorable or unfavorable. And at that point, it comes before the board being you 7 members. And some of you members are actually on BZA, right? So when
No.
there's no board members on that.
There's no, it's all 5 citizen members.
Thank you.
None of the town council are appointed to that.
But all 5 members are appointed by the town council, Bob?
Correct.
Thank you, sir. See, going back to my point being that once it gets a recommendation being either favorable or unfavorable, that doesn't guarantee it to pass either way the recommendation comes in, because the board, as you guys know, can vote against a favorable recommendation and for an unfavorable recommendation. Just to prove my point that there are only 7 people in this whole entire town that can make a decision that would congest streets, schools, stores, create a bunch more infrastructural costs for existing residents, along with all new coming residents. Mr. Recupero talked about it tonight, about different zonings that are taking place, and we're realizing that there are workshops, and all that stuff has to go through these workshops and negotiated and fine-tuned. And I get all that. But the question is, does anybody understand that if you were, for example, if you were gonna change an R1 zoning to an R3 zoning, we're going from 100 homes, and again, just references. Let's say if we go from 100 homes to 400 homes, or better yet, let's say 100 homes to 300 homes. If every home has 2 cars and it goes from 100, that'd be 200 cars, now we're going to 600 cars. If you talk about tax dollars, right? You say, well, we can earn more tax dollars if we put more rooftops in the subdivision. Well, that's not true either, because our one house is gonna pay a heck of a lot more taxes than a coach home or a row house. And then we talk about, and a lot of times I hear through all the meetings I've been in that, negotiations take place based on the fact that we're negotiating infrastructure, and we're negotiating positive things for the community, for the town of Cedar Lake. But in all reality, in the particular rezoning that I'm referring to, and from what I'm understanding, and again, no facts, I have no facts, but after my last meeting, I did get quite a few calls. And there's a lot of rumors. In fact, Colleen Sheehan had mentioned a few of them about the Eagle and all these 50 and older and all this, that, and the other, right? There's a lot of misinformation going around, right? And as I'm sitting here listening, everybody asking, there was a request that a viewing of this particular project could be sent out to you folks. Well, if there's only 7 people that can vote on it, and Colleen, you live right behind this particular development that we're talking about, I was really surprised that you didn't jump on with Nick and Bob and saying you voted against it just out of principle alone.
Until I see something, I'm not gonna make that statement until I see something.
I wish it would have been a YMCA. I was the man waving the flag, I'll tell you that.
Well, the thing is that it'd be great if it was a YMCA, Sean, right? But it's not going to be, and the fact of the matter is that
no tax dollars.
there's a lot of there's a lot of situation here where if you put in an RT zoning and an R1, that close to the lake, what if they all want boats? We just talked about all the different new boats that are coming on the lake. We got a marina who's gonna go with high-rise lifts to bring more boats in. Now we're gonna bring in, townhomes and coach houses that are probably gonna have jet skis and boats in the garages. So, how much is enough at that point, and where is our safety factor, right?
Until it comes to a plan.
Yeah, but John, let's be honest,
We don't know
John.
what they wanna do.
Let's be honest, I've already heard about the infrastructure he's gonna offer up, but let's face it, and quite honest, the only people that need an infrastructure are the developments he plans on developing. Because everybody that lives in that area down Morris going down south, if you ask them to tap on the public water, they're gonna be mad. If you tell them you only have a year to keep your well before you have to tap on, they're gonna be mad.
That doesn't happen.
Can I please finish, please?
Can
And I
you
don't
keep
mean to
moving?
be rude, sir,
Terry,
I
can
do
you
not.
keep moving, just keep moving, please?
I'm sorry, Rick, I didn't hear you mention it to anybody else, but I will try to move it on for you.
Thank you,
Sir.
appreciate it.
The fact of the matter is, there's only 7 people in this whole entire town that can vote from R1 to RT, or R2, or R3, or whatever the case may be. And so when I'm listening in the restaurant, I'm hearing about congestion and all of this, density and overflowing, and I just don't, sometimes hearing the words coming out of some of the folks' mouth that are telling me about it, I don't know if they actually know that it's 7 people in this town that make that decision. Just 7. Just 7. And Nick, I would like to say, before I close, I'd like to say honestly to you that I kind of knew where you stood before you stood up that night in the last meeting, and I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart, sir, because we need solid people to just do the right thing for a change, not to negotiate, not to try to get the most out of a deal, because what about all the people that have been here all this time that don't want it? Should 7 people be able to stick it down their throats? Should 7 people be able to do that? Should before you even vote, should it be a public, where there should be visuals and renderings, and every person that lives in Ward 5, we're in Ward 5, correct?
Yes.
Yes. Every person in Ward 5 should know that you guys are gonna put that many residences that close to the lake.
We don't know what we're doing. We
Well-
don't have a plan.
And then what if what I'm saying comes true, how are you gonna feel at that point?
Then I may reject it. I'm telling you, I don't know until I see what they're proposing.
So I'm gonna pose,
If it were up to me, they'd be
You'd say no?
$1,000,000 houses on 2 acres, but
well,
it's
if
not
it was up
to
to
me.
you, would you just say no with the 2, and then we'd only need 1 more vote to say no to the whole project, Howie?
Well, the
I would
project's gonna
appreciate
happen.
that.
The
That's not
developer
gonna
wants-
happen?
He bought the property.
I understand that, but your seven votes says whether he could change the zoning.
Well, I don't
Irregardless of who
know.
owns the property.
I don't know
And
how
in
we're
fact,
allowed to change.
Mr. Niemeyer, welcome back, Mr. Niemeyer.
I told you I will not
Good
be
to see you again.
hypothetical.
Mr. Niemeyer, I remember before he passed and left that seat right there, he had talked about how Cedar Lake is the fastest growing town in northwest Indiana. Do you think if you guys say no to this, that these people are gonna turn around and leave? They already own the land, just like you said. So you do have the right to say no.
I
You
know.
do have the right to negotiate not from R1 to RT, row housing. Maybe instead of jumping 4 zonings, maybe go from R1 to R2, where it's a little bit easier to
I
swallow.
don't know where you're getting this from, because there's nothing out there.
Ladies and gentlemen, I do appreciate your time. I just would like to pose one more question before I leave the dance. Would anybody else like to side with saying no on this particular new zoning at that golf course residence? Would anybody else like to say, I just don't think that many more houses that close to the lake is a good idea for anybody?
I don't think
Not
it's
gonna
prudent
say
for anybody to
Nobody?
hypothetically
A
talk
lot
about
of,
the
hypothetical
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Terry.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you.
Terry inspired me. Greg Parker, 14823 Moore Street, Cedar Lake, 46303. You said he bought it, he owns it.
He does.
He bought it, he owns it with R1 zoning.
That's fine, Greg. I haven't seen anything.
He bought it, he owns it with R1 zoning, that's what it's zoned R1,
Well, correct,
right now.
correct.
It'll be a PUD zoning that they'll try to get, is what it'll be, or maybe get. And I'm gonna apologize for putting you on the spot, Nick, but since you're the only one that admitted to seeing the concept, can you expand on it at all? Can you tell us what the concept is, or have you been sworn to secrecy?
I'm not, when I ran, and this is the type of person I am, I guess I shouldn't even talk about the campaign. I'm an honest person, and I have respect for everybody out there being honest.
Believe me, that's one of the things I like about Bob. Bob gets kept in the dark a lot, but Bob's never forgotten where he's come from, and Bob will not lie to you. And I appreciate that from you too.
Well, my parents raised me that you have one name, and once that's gone, you got nothing else. So,
That's right, that's absolutely right.
but I guess your question, Greg, I don't have any plans in front of me. I glanced at them, and all I can tell you, it wasn't R1. It was pretty dense.
Okay.
But I can't tell you how many rooftops or all that kind of stuff, but it was, I looked at it and I said, I wouldn't go for this. But I don't have any plans. John asked for them, I don't have any plans, but.
You've seen them though.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you guys.
Well, I appreciate that.
Thank you for being
I
honest.
really do appreciate that.
Yeah, but like I said, there's no, there's been this rumor about backroom dealings and that. I have nothing to do with that. I don't know if any of that, I don't know anything about that. It's all plans, that was it. So like Chris and I talked about before, and me serving on the BZA, plans are submitted to staff, and they get first look at them, right?
And that's the next thing I'm gonna say. And this is no offense to you at all, it has nothing to do with you. But we've had a town manager in the past that his favorite thing to say to me personally was that the people here don't know what's good for them, the professionals know what's good for them. So, Chuck,
That was before our time. Oh, okay, so we didn't hear the town manager.
don't make me say his name.
Okay.
I might burst into flames.
It was
That mentality
Okay.
just disgusts me. Because this town doesn't belong to one person, and again, that's not put to you at all. This was in the past. But I think the people here have just as much right to have some input on anything that happens here as any of you seven or anybody else.
100%.
And they will when things come to the plan commission. Again, I'm gonna state it in front of the flag, I have not seen any plans.
That's incredible.
Yeah, I'm in a master's program and I.
Public comment?
Well, no, maybe.
Public comment?
Maybe next week.
Public comment for the third time, seeing no more public comment, the meeting is adjourned. Next meeting, Tuesday.